All right. I'm gonna maybe nice next celebration.
Yeah, exactly. It's a vibe, dude.
Go over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to move on to talk about some of the songs you worked on.
Yeah.
First one being "Just Friends" by Audrey Mika. I remember I heard that song when it first came out. A couple, what was it, like 2021 or something like that. And like I have like every time I hear that song, it's just like permanent stank face. It's got a really, really good groove on there. So
Thanks,
the
man.
first thing that I want to talk about is the bass.
Sure.
What's the story behind? Is that real? Is that VST?
That's a real bass.
Yeah.
I have a reissue 58P.
Okay.
P bass. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
No, that was a very interesting session because it was me, Audrey, and her manager and co-writer at the time, Amisha. And we had been working for like a couple months at that point. We had done one song, which was, I think her first single that we had done together was already out. So we had a bit of rapport already. Right. But we had one of those days where we had 2 days back to back. The first day we got nothing, like at all. Yeah. We wrote for like 10 hours and got nothing really worth like saving. And then the second day it looked like it was like the same vibe. Yeah. And like 9 p.m. rolled around and I was like, let's just try something new real quick. Yeah. And played those chords. That's like a Prophet 6, I think.
Sounds good.
I appreciate you. Yeah. And then played the bass line, wrote the song. I think the whole song took an hour.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I ended up taking it and being like, oh, this could be really sick. Let me like do the most and like make this a big pop song. We put out the day one.
Yep.
Yeah. And it just like worked pretty quickly, honestly.
I mean, all the choices you made in that are really, really, really good.
Thanks,
like I wrote like the clap is perfect.
Thanks.
It's like just on that line of too much, but it's like right in your face and it feels great. And the drums also feel great on that track too. And I wanted to ask, like, when you're doing drums, even for a session like that, are you relying on loops? Are you playing it in? Like, what's your process for that?
I program pretty much everything especially at the time. It's all audio tracks where I'm dragging the kick in. Right. Ableton has a really lovely like slip feature where you can kind of drag any sample and like kind of like drag it within the clip. Right. So you can see how much it's offset and you can still quantize based off of that. Right. So that helps me get a groove in a pocket really easily. The groove pull is amazing too in Ableton. So I think the hi-hat's a loop. Yeah. Like I think it's a really stretched hi-hat, which is why it has that kind of like funky texture too.
It sounds really cool.
Appreciate. No, the only thing that's really recorded is the Prophet and the bass. Everything else is programmed.
Yeah, and it's a track that you say you did the most or you attempted to do the most, but it feels like everything feels very intentional. Totally. And when you don't have that much going on, like the Prophet and the bass and the clap can feel that much bigger. Mm-hmm. And it's a really well-balanced song. The vocal also sounds really great on that. I know she's a fantastic singer.
She is, yeah.
But what's, your process with that? How are you, if she needed it or had it, like, how are you tuning vocals and what are you doing once you're in the box as well?
She was a great singer during that like era of us working together. It was like very easy to get a good product. For that song, I think we went to a different studio and recorded on I didn't have a 251 at the time. Yeah. So we went to go record on a 251. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if that was like, I think it was like Westlake or something like that. But we went to like a bigger studio, recorded it quickly in like a day. She was very hands-on on that song as far as like picking her comps and everything else like that. I love it when artists have opinions on how they like their vocals. Yeah. Because it makes it easier for me, I guess, to not guess. Right. Because I'm going to do what I consider to be good and then like you give me your round of notes wherever you want it. I feel like I have pretty good artist empathy at this point to where like I know what you're going to want for the most part. Yeah. But if you're just telling me I want that, way easier, honestly. Right. Yeah. Like, some people I get like 5 takes and then we just go through it. Some people I'll get 30 takes and we go through it. Yeah. Sometimes more. It just depends on who's like doing what in the session a little bit. Yeah. If they're like, leave it up to me, like I got it and like I'll like handle it myself. But I prefer if you sit next to me like 9 times out of 10 to be honest.
No, it's nice when you can have that rapport with someone who like the trust goes both ways. Yeah. Kind of a thing. It's there are very few people who I like feel comfortable enough to like sit and comp their vocal like with them. Yeah. I always like almost always ask, be like, let me do it by myself once. Sure. And like if you want to do it, like come over. Totally. I will go through each and every syllable.
Yeah, exactly.
With you and like do the thing. When you're doing vocals as well, when you're doing doubles and harmonies and stuff, how many of each layer do you usually like to get? Are you a 2, a 4, an 8 person?
A 4 guy.
You're a 4 guy.
Yeah. No, I was in a session yesterday where I was like, I'm a 4 girly for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I think it's 4 per part. So I'll do 4 regular stacks, like just like copy the lead.
Right.
4 soft stacks sometimes even, and I'll like fuck it up a little bit.
Yeah.
At least 4 per harmony part for the most part. Lows, I'll only do 2 usually. Just because I feel like that can get muddy, and if anything, just 1 sometimes.
Yeah, I'll do 3. I'll kind of do 1 in the center for the lows.
You need center a little bit. Like I like to do like pitching in a session because I think the idea of like pitching something sounds better sometimes than singing it high or low or playing it high or low.
Yeah.
It's an haptics elastic pitch. I think it's an haptic. Or it's an
No, yeah, like Z.